What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Homegrown Career Mode. This is episode number 19, and we start today's episode off, the penultimate episode of Season 1 with some player training. As you'll see during today's episode, Cook, the second drill he's got, Race Against the Clock, includes ball control, dribbling, agility, and sprint speed. We changed that, so it takes out the sprint speed attribute getting trained, just because right now it's at 87 for sprint speed, and I don't think it needs to be any quicker. And also as well, we take a look at the academy update here, and you can see how the boys getting on. Look at Stefan Roach, just a player I haven't mentioned before, but 15 years old, 89, 94 potential, but only 49 overall. I don't recall ever having a player in my academy that's that poor in the overall, but has that high of a potential. That's incredible. He's like at opposite ends of the spectrum, you know. In terms of overall, he's rubbish. In terms of potential, he give you the next, I don't even know, but a central midfielder looks really, really good there. French talent. And it's funny, but our best talents in the academy right now are all French. And of course, our best player out of the academy is also French. So Southampton, we're nicking those players from France. And yeah, the big teams in France must be furious that all their youngsters are coming across the ocean, the channel to Southampton. But anyway, first game of 3 in today's episode. It's the first of the final 3 in the Premier League as we travel to London to take on West Ham and Pellegrini's side here away from home. Obviously in the Premier League now, we know there's nothing to play for. We can't finish in the relegation zone. We can't finish in the Europa League place. It all just depends whether you finish in the top half of the table or the bottom half of the table. So not really too much to play for in the final 3 games. But of course, there was stuff to play for around the league, including for West Ham, who right now are still searching for Champions League football come the end of the season. So a big game for our host today, but we started the game off much brighter than the Hammers. We were dominating possession in the first half, knocking the ball around really nicely like we have done for most parts of the season this year. Ward-Prowse missed a sitter that would have given us the lead just 5 minutes in, but just for the break, Jeremy Martin went down left hand side, nice little ball across to Ethan Collins. The academy gradually linked up, and Ward-Prowse didn't miss for a second time, kept his eyes on the prize and made it 1-0 to the visitors on a stroke of half time. So oh dear. Nice little Muvelo celebration there by this year's captain. And what an end to the season Ward-Prowse had, by the way. Chipped in with 3 or 4 goals. He's been really, really consistently good. And one of our best players, I would say, to end the season, if not our best player. Because Walcott, who started his second stint at Southampton unbelievably and was scoring goals left, right and centre, he hasn't banged in that many of late. So we found goals from other sources, including James Ward-Prowse. So 1-0 to the Saints, JWP with a goal. And to be fair, all game long, we were looking a far better team. You wouldn't have guessed we had nothing to play for, and James Ward-Prowse, this is a sign of confidence this guy's feeling right now. Almost scored a sort of a scorpion kick half volley. Oh, but it was blocked as he was about to cross the line and went out for a corner. How unlucky is that? I've never scored, or I don't think I've ever scored a scorpion goal before. Certainly not in this year's FIFA, of course. And that would have been incredible had it gone in there. Sadly not, blocked on the line and beyond for a corner. But that's how the game finished regardless though. 1-0 the final score. And yeah, delighted to get a win. And I should have given man much to Ward-Prowse really. Sure got the highest rate at 9.5, but Ward-Prowse was the better player. But either way, great to get the win. And great to end this season in good form as well. Obviously it was well documented, our mid-season struggle. You know, no wins in 7 games, but now we're really feeling it. No teams can beat us in any competition. It's fantastic, and a sign of how good Ward-Prowse has been in recent weeks. Sees him grab the April Player of the Month award as well, and that is of course the second time one of our players has won Player of the Month this season, after Nathan Redmond won it back in October, I think it was. So yeah, JWP has been fantastic, and I did say this guy could be our captain for the long term in this series, and he's he's making a strong case towards it, that's for sure. But for the second of the 3 games today, we return back to St Mary's after our final away game there in London, as we would take on Bournemouth in an 11th versus 12th place battle. And again, this is the sort of game where, I mean, you'll see it. It's sort of like both teams are on early holiday. It happens a lot in real life as well. It's one of the most frustrating things for managers and coaching staff and fans alike when the players just can't get motivated to play the final games when they know, really, there's not much to play for. And as we took on Bournemouth here, it is a little rivalry on the south coast. I was still hoping to win it and maintain our good form. We had the first chance 20 minutes in, Stephen Davis going for the goal from range. His first shot blocked, but his second shot on the half volley, oh, just whistled wide of Begwich's post and behind for a goal kick. Very close there with a veteran playing perhaps his final game for the club. And then Bournemouth had their first chance 34 minutes in. Munir found Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Watford and AC Milan legend, but was denied by Angus Gunn as it was still goalless. So both teams have played all alright in the first half. It was funny, most shots have been blocked in the first half, so it was still 0-0. The football, however, was really good. The finishing was not. Another nice little build-up, so Andrew Sermon through there, should have scored against his former team, put over the bar, and then Gunn made another good save at 69 minutes in, as it was still goalless, and then Dyer got the ball away, and that was how the game finished. Penultimate game of the season, tied and deadlocked at 0-0 for the duration, and a frustrating penultimate game of the season. And again, the best chance we had was through Sermon, and you've seen it towards the end of this season. For some reason, my finishing, I don't know what's happened, but well, at times I can be a lot more clinical than that, but towards the end of this season, we've missed so many sitters. It's almost like every game or every other game, there's one amazing chance, and we fail, or I should say I failed to take it, but Gunn and Begovic both sharing man of the match for a couple of good saves regardless, and yeah, a goalless draw. Not a great result, but not a bad result, but again, one of those games where it's like, because it's towards the end of the season, there's nothing to play for. Neither team is going to go home thinking long into the night, having sleepless nights, There's no way that Sermon's going to be up all night, with his missus next to him, just thinking, oh, I should have taken that chance to win the game. Would have been massive. She'd be like, calm down, Andrew, seriously, got nothing to play for. But anyway, for the final game of the season, we will take on Huddersfield Town, already relegated in 19th place, going back to the Championship after 2 years in the Premier League. And on the final game of the season, again, nothing to play for, but the one thing we could do if we won this game was move into the top half of the table. So it would still be nice to do that, finish in the top 10 this season, although there wasn't too much to play for. There were some send-offs for a few players who, of course, won't be here next season and will be sold due to homegrown rulings. And we took on Huddersfield. Well, it was sort of like, it was a game really just to have a bit of fun, really, just to mess, not exactly mess around, but just to play a little bit fun and just see if we can score some nice goals. And the first chance was a nice build down left-hand side here. Chamberlain getting in behind Christopher Schindler, ran through 1-on-1, but Lissell denied him with a fabulous fingertip save, turn over the bar. But we started the game off really strongly, like we have done in recent weeks. Theo down the right-hand side, then flicked it through to James Ward-Prowse, and how about this? Oh, it would have been an amazing goal. A bicycle kick assist to a bicycle kick goal had it gone in. Sadly, once again, Lissell frustratingly made the save, but from the corner, everyone was trying the bicycle kicks and the acrobatic kicks. Sam Gallagher went for it and smacked it in off the underside of the crossbar to make it 1-0. And I said this year, Gallagher could be a wild card player for us, the sort of guy that plays, scores like 4 or 5 goals, wins us a couple of points throughout the season, and a really nice option off the bench. He's done just that. He's been a really good player this season when we've provided him the chances. He's taken most of them, and he certainly took that one. Nice corner, but a better finish. Gallagher, what an acrobatic effort. And of course, this year it's well documented in FIFA. Bicycle kicks and overhead kicks, they go in so often and far too often. And I do believe there should be a little bit of give and take. If FIFA was as realistic as real life football is, it wouldn't be fun enough for most people to play it. So there has to be a little bit of give and take. You have to have a little, a few little flair things happening here and there that ordinarily wouldn't happen as common and frequently as they do in real life, as Walcott put that half volley over the bar and behind for a goal kick. But of course, sometimes they're a little bit too frequent and it becomes a little bit too arcadey. There needs to be a nice balance, Some people say that there's too many, and I agree with that. But there has to be some here and there. Otherwise, the game wouldn't be fun enough to play for the vast majority of people. So anyway, 1-0 due to that wonderful goal. There was some good chance created by both teams, though. You wouldn't have thought that both teams had nothing to play for. Both teams are really going for it. Alex Pritchard there made it 1-1 as the Terriers got back on level terms. But with 12 minutes to go, Lloyd Isgrove off the bench won it back and found Gallagher, who was looking like a man of the match in this game. Held on to the ball roll, rolled it through to Jeremy Martin, down left-hand side, took it round Zanko with a lovely piece of skill, and what a cross it was to the back stick, and there was Isgrove scoring his first goal since returning from Barnsley in the January window. Busts out of the worm to celebrate, to win us the game with 10 minutes to go, his first goal since coming back to St Mary's. So wonderful work there by Martin, and another really nice goal. And that's, to be fair, in this final game, I wasn't looking to score normal goals. I wanted to score some nice ones since it was the final day. And yeah, it might have been a cross, but either way, a nice little build up there, and a good header by Isgrove at the back stick. So 2-1 to the Saints. That was how the game finished. Huddersfield, of course, were relegated, so David Wagner and his side going back to the Championship, sort of copying my style a little bit there with the dressing. But either way, it's good to get the win, and good to end the season on this really nice unbeaten streak as well. We got the FA Cup final to come in the next episode, the final episode of the season. And to go into it in this run of good form is really good confidence. We are going to be underdogs taking on Spurs at Wembley, but I'm feeling confident. I'm not going to say we're the favourites. I think we'll lose the FA Cup final, to be honest. However, we've got a good chance based on this good run of momentum. And how many times have I said it in the past 2 years, particularly in career mode? Form is just so over-exaggerated. It's crazy. One team gets into a good run and they'll remain in it for a very long time. One team goes into a bad run and they'll remain in it for a very very long time. Hence why the league table always looks quite a bit scrambled. But anyway, final league table is like this. As we knew, Manchester United were champions. City, Chelsea and Spurs wrapped up the top four, with Arsenal finished in 5th place, and West Ham in the end dropped out. They choked towards the end of the season and finished in 6th. Liverpool in 7th. We did finish in the top half of the table in 8th place, 15 wins and 15 defeats in our 38 games. And the bottom 3 in the end was indeed Newcastle United, Huddersfield and Cardiff, which we knew for pretty much the duration of the season, really. The Golden Boot was won by Harry Kane, won it by a goal over Diego Jota. A little bit concerning that no Southampton players got into the top 25, but our goals were sort of spread out throughout our debut year. No one player stepped up and was the reliable source, other than Theo Walcott. But as for the assists, a few players got noted here. We had Walcott, we had Redmond, and we had Ward-Prowse all hitting 5 assists for the season. And Angus Gunn, to be fair, finished 3rd in the Golden Glove race. It was won by David De Gea in the end, but Gunn, who came into the team after McCarthy's poor start to the season, he had a great debut year for us, and certainly one to consider keeping for next year. But anyway, guys, that went into today's episode of the Homegrown Career Mode. So a big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy today's episode, please do drop a like. Much love to you, and I'll see you for the season finale. It's Spurs in the FA Cup final very soon.